So we got bad news. The Z is dead. It's no longer running. It is completely broken. Nah, I'm just kidding. But we did have some bad things the past week and a half happen. So that's why I've kind of been absent the past week and a half. I've been trying to figure some things out. I thought that the head gasket was blown on the Z. I'm going to go through some of the symptoms that I was having and why I thought that. But I think that the problems are actually less severe than I anticipated, so that's really good. I got some parts in today that we should be installing this weekend. So I'm going to go over those. I'm going to pull it out of the box and show you guys. And and then get into what my plans are on how to fix the problem and exactly what is going on with the car. And then hopefully we can get the Z back on the road because it's been a long week and a half without driving it. So the first main issue right off the bat was I was losing coolant. I was keeping an eye on my coolant levels and they kept consistently dropping. So I was doing about 60 miles a week roughly to work and back, and I was losing in the overflow tank about half of my coolant. So I was trying to keep an eye on that, and I didn't seem to have any leaks because there was no puddles underneath the car when I left in the morning or when I left work at night or when I came out to see the car in the morning before I go to work or anything like that. So there didn't seem to be any leaking. It's been hard to tell if it was burning out the end of the exhaust because it's been so cold out, so you're always getting some sort of white smoke coming out because it's so cold, or I guess vapor.
Vape. Hashtag vape. Vape life, bro. Vape life.
Because of that, I kind of started to jump to the conclusion that it could possibly be a blown head gasket, because if you're burning coolant, that means that there's a leak happening somewhere. Most likely head gasket. I was getting a really sweet smell from the exhaust, and I thought it was coming out of the tailpipe. So I did a block test where you put the little thing on the radiator and you fill it up with the fluid, and then you pump it up, and if you're getting exhaust gases in it, it'll turn the color of the fluid from blue to green to yellow. And although I had some pretty bad contamination because my coolant level was too high while doing the test, so I was getting contaminated and changing the color quicker than probably it should have. But based on that, I was like, oh, this isn't good. So then I went and got a radiator pressure test from I tried O'Reilly's, but none of their attachments fit, so I went to AutoZone and they give you a bigger kit. So I've been doing that, and I actually found a leak on my radiator. So I tried to repair it with some 2-part epoxy, but it didn't seem to fix the problem. I checked all the hoses. It wasn't the hoses or the clamps. It was coming from the top plastic fitting on the radiator. So I went ahead and ordered a new radiator and some new hoses to go with it to upgrade them to silicone, and I'm gonna show you guys those today. So here is the new radiator. I decided to go with the full aluminum Mishimoto one so I wouldn't have to worry about the plastic fittings ever again. So comes in a pretty cool box. It's nice to get car parts like this. That are nicely packaged and cool company. So yeah, let's get opening this up. Alright, so obviously you guys can tell I'm in my kitchen right now. It's freezing outside. It's been cold the past week, so I'm doing this inside for now. Hopefully it warms up, the weather isn't bad, that I can install this weekend, because I really want to get the car back on the road. But yeah, anyway, let's open this up. Oh yeah. This big M logo. It's pretty light. It's fully made out of aluminum, like I said before. It's a bit thicker than the stock one. There you have it. Nice and shiny. I'm super excited for this, to put this in. Stamp Mishimoto logo on the top. Okay, so then we're just gonna pop these rubber covers off here and then grab my new hoses and see how they look on there. The welds are really nice on this. Everything's super clean and shiny. I'm super excited to put this in. I wish this wasn't gonna get hidden and you could see it through the front bumper, but unfortunately that will all be hidden. So I just quickly put on my new blue hoses here, just to see how they look. Obviously they look super sweet and they're gonna go with the car. Clearly these ones don't go here. I just stuck them on because they were like perfectly fitting onto these little things here, but the top and the bottom hose are in the right positions. They fit perfectly, so it's pretty much ready to go in. I have all new hose clamps to go on, as well as all new coolant to go in once everything's installed. So with that being said, I think it's should be ready to go. I'm gonna have to pull the old one out along with the fans attached to it and then attach the fans onto the new one, and put it back in. I'm not sure if I'm going to pull the whole front bumper off yet and do it, or just do it as sliding it in through the top of the engine bay, but you guys will see that soon. Like I said, hopefully this weekend. But yeah, really excited about this. This is the pressure tester kit that I was talking about that I got from AutoZone. So basically you take this piece here, it's like a pump, similar to like a, like a basketball or sports ball pump. You take this end here and you attach it to any one of these attachments that fit in your radiator cap, not your overflow, but your actual radiator. You take your radiator cap off and you put one of these ends on. They like screw on. Some of them have threads, some of them, like mine, have a little like quarter turn that it locks in, and then this piece attaches to the top of that and you pump it up to the recommended PSI on your radiator cap, and if it holds pressure you're good, obviously. If you're losing pressure, that means your coolant is going somewhere, so you either have a leak or externally or internally in the motor. So I actually found a leak right at the top hose coupler on the radiator where it was leaking out pretty significantly, and then the bottom tray of my car underneath my car has a tray. So basically what happens is it was dripping down and catching all that. So that's why I never saw a wet spot underneath the car, because it was actually all landing inside the tray. And then probably while I was driving it would get taken out and stuff. But yeah, so this is the kit. It's like, unfortunately, it's like $290, but you rent it. So once you bring it back, you get all your money back. So you have to be able to put the $290 down, but like I said, once you take it back, you get it all back. One thing I'll say is that whenever you have problems with your car, any problems with your car like this, or problems with anything in life really, make sure you go through the steps to really figure out the situation and understand what's going on. I was losing coolant, and that could mean a bunch of things. Because it was cold, I was getting some white smoke out of the exhaust, and because now what I found out is that the coolant is dripping down, I was smelling a burning coolant but it wasn't actually coming out the end of my exhaust. So by doing the block test and doing the pressure test, it revealed some other things that I was able to test out and try before I brought my car to a shop and had them do a $3,000 plus head gasket fix job. So, with that being said, just make sure you go through the steps, even if it costs you a little bit of money to make sure. You always want to make sure. Go through those steps, figure out what the real problem is, fully understand the situation before you jump to any conclusions. I was really down about the car for a week because I was so upset that I just got the car 2 months ago-ish, 3 months ago, and head gasket, cost of a head gasket replacement was a lot of money, especially when the car, that was just under half the cost of the car. So that's crazy. And I'm hopefully, it's not 100% confirmed that this is the only problem, but pretty positive it is, and it's a huge relief to buy a $200 radiator, an upgraded one at that, and some hoses, and hopefully that should fix the problem. Obviously, I'll know for sure once it's installed and ready to go, and I'll keep you guys updated on that for sure, but yeah, so just make sure you take the steps and figure it out and fully understand what's wrong before you jump to conclusions and beat yourself up about it. Well, just so you guys can see, this is clearly why I will not be putting in my radiator today or this weekend. This really sucks because I wanted to get this running again this week, but I guess that's not going to happen. New England weather. I'm out here shoveling all this around both the cars. And she's over here building snowmen.
Oh yeah.
So I guess that's going to be all that I have for you guys today. I hope you all have an awesome day, and don't forget to like and subscribe, and as always, peace out and stay tuned.